On November 8, the head of the press center of the Vostok grouping, Lieutenant Colonel of the Russian Army, Oleg Chekhov, announced the successful advance of Russian troops in the South Donetsk direction. In particular, according to him, Russian combat aviation and multiple launch rocket systems managed to practically bleed the 72nd Mechanized Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine in the areas of the settlements of Staromaersk and Volodar. It is reported that during this attack, the Russians managed to destroy about 120 Ukrainian servicemen, 2 German Leopard tanks, 5 American M2 Bradley infantry fighting vehicles, as well as 1 Polish self-propelled artillery installation, Crab. Meanwhile, American experts from the Institute for the Study of War are finding it increasingly difficult to ignore the obvious successes of the Russian troops on the battlefield. So, on November 6, American experts were forced to admit that the Russian army began to seize the initiative along the entire front line, including the Bakhmut and Zaporizhzhia directions. According to them, on November 6, Russian troops carried out successful attacks on the border of the Zaporizhzhia and Donetsk regions, and came close to the village of Staromaersk. In the end, American experts reluctantly confirmed that the Russian army managed to take control of vast territories in the Zaporizhzhia region. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian military news portal, Defense Express, reported that the Russian army has begun to use new tactics to capture the strongholds of the armed forces of Ukraine. In particular, it is reported that the Russians not only improved the use of first-person view drones, but also developed a special technique for their use. The fact is that at the front, cases began to be recorded more and more often, when assault detachments of Russian troops inferior in man and firepower captured powerful strongholds of the armed forces of Ukraine. As an example, we can recall an incident that occurred in early November, between the settlements of Pryatnoy and Staromaersk. Back then, 5 Russian soldiers managed to capture a powerful stronghold of the armed forces of Ukraine, which was defended by 30 Ukrainian servicemen. To capture that stronghold, the Russians simulated the use of artillery. While the artillery was firing blank shots, the operators of FPV drones destroyed 24 Ukrainian soldiers. The remaining 6 Ukrainian servicemen were wounded and captured. As a result, the Russian military managed not only to capture a strategically important stronghold without losses in personnel, but also to save shells for artillery systems. According to war correspondents, with the help of these new tactics in the Zaporizhzhia direction, the Russian military managed to capture 7 strongholds of the armed forces of Ukraine in one day. It should be noted that while military experts admired the cunning and ingenuity of the Russian military, representatives of the Ukrainian military department laid all responsibility for the loss of such a large number of strongholds on Russian-speaking Ukrainian soldiers. According to them, these Ukrainian soldiers have no motivation, and that they allegedly do not want to fight against the Russian army. At the same time, it is worth noting that such statements by representatives of the Ukrainian military department cause an ambiguous reaction even among pro-Ukrainian bloggers and analysts. The fact is that the armed forces of Ukraine are rapidly losing the initiative in all directions of the front. Even in the Bakhmut direction, the Ukrainian army is retreating under the onslaught of Russian troops. Moreover, the recent defeat of the elite units of the armed forces of Ukraine, consisting of ardent nationalists near the village of Berkhovka, indicates that the Ukrainian army has already lost its offensive potential. In light of these events, military analysts are confident that Ukraine's new territorial losses are simply inevitable.